Alright, I think everything's good. I think we're streaming. There we go. Alright. Hey yo everybody, I am Braxton Wise. This is Third Copy Studio, and this here is... what is it called? Pugipillar? There we go. All right. I think that's its name. I keep looking these up. I'll forget. Also, it's very warm here today, so the stream will go until I sweat to death. I have a new tablet on the way, but it's supposed to have been delivered yesterday, but wasn't. It's a good thing I bought shipping insurance for it, knowing that, you know, the delivery system here is total trash. So likely it'll be delivered to the wrong person, someone will get a free tablet, I'll have to get them to reimburse me and hope the next one gets here. Such is my life. I also had like a new setting. I figured out these little brush things. It's hard to see this thing, but it's a tiny little brush next to my brush preview, this little thing, which is good because then that allows me to see where the cursor is, even if the brush is too small to be visible. I just don't like the crosshairs that this does when the cursor's at a certain size on screen. So I turn the crosshairs off and then turn on this little what is this anyway? Is that in preferences? Yes, it is. It's preferences, cursor, and then here, brush shape and tool specific cursor. So it's like it'll put a little brush next to the actual brush preview. If that's what you need. If that's what I need. Sometimes I can't see the brush. But I cannot stand those crosshairs. See there. Additional display when brush size cursor is small. Yeah, no thank you. So I had to turn that off. It was annoying. Oh, all right. Okay, so where were we at? We were working on the, let's see, we could do the floor, hands, or wrist. No, you have to do the hands before the wrists, and the floor can be whatever. I don't even know how I'm going to do the floor. You know, because we've got these here. There it is. First of all, he needs a floor of some kind. so that I can put like a shadow under his foot, so it looks like he's really standing on something, right? Not just floating. Also, this music is getting loud. Who knows? Alright, so yeah, I need something here. I need some kind of a floor, or he's just going to be floating around. Alright, let's see. This is like those puzzle piece mats, right? We don't need that brush. So how do those go? This is turned down too. So I don't know if I should have this all the way up when we do this. Whew, that's bright. So bright. Like that. So you can kind of, and that's how they go in these puzzle piece things. I don't know how to make that work. Could just draw them. How about we make a new layer for that? That's gonna be tough, being in perspective like that. Like that. Just as a little experiment. That's sort of it. I can kind of fake that. But the question is, do I want to fake that? You know what I'm saying? Because that's a lot of painting. Especially for something so smooshy. It's hard to really draw these with a lot of precision. At least not quickly. And try and fake out that shape a little bit. I just can't keep these a consistent size. So, yeah, I'm not sure about that. At all, actually. So just tone that back down. We'll get back to the rest of it instead. There we go. Wrists, hands. Alright, I want to make sure this is good and solid. Also, where's my reference? Alright, here we go. This is a reference. These hands don't really flare out very much. Wow, how tiny is that eraser? What are we doing here? Oh my gosh, no. Here, let's wow, okay. That was that was the issue. I was dealing with a vector eraser. That's something entirely different. I have been using a another drawing app called PaintStorm. It has some different shortcuts, like the rotation thing. So I have to stop and think about it now. So I'll hit the wrong keys. Ah, okay, I see what's going on with this. Turn on, turn off pressure size. I want to make sure this looks smooth and solid. How much anti-aliasing does that have on it? It must not be in the tool options here. Okay. We'll just add it then. Also, we don't really need to have all that. That background just making stuff harder. Just color all the way through it. Right, so the general plan here is, what is this part here? Right, the general plan is to lock the alpha on this, which I'm fixing to do. As soon as I decide when to stop fighting with this line. Okay. I really could just vector this in. But I'm not. These are going to be far from perfect. Even though they're really nice and perfect in the game, but that's a 3D modeler. Ain't nobody hand painted that. So I'm going to allow myself the ability to be slightly off. Give myself license to be less than 100% accurate. When I did the sketch the first time, I wasn't really accounting for the thickness of the fingers where they kind of overlap here. That was the day that I kind of had a little bit of a meltdown on this drawing. That stream is no longer available. We don't talk about that stream. It's a very dark day. Hold on. I hear something. I'll be right back. Okay, here I am. Oh my gosh, Banana47 fan, thank you very much. I'm sorry, you probably have ditched after saying something and I didn't respond for a moment. I had a package at the door and I had to go run get it. Alright, so we're back though. I should have put up the BRB screen, that was my bad. Make sure this is solid before I alpha lock this layer. Or at least as solid as I can get it. I don't know what I could have done better. Well, I could select this out with vectors, I guess. And then fill. I did not though, so. Okay, oh, hello. Sorry I was out, or I heard a package arrive on the doorstep, and I ran to get it because, you know, I'm always worried about porch pirates, you know. There. This is what it looks like. With the sketch turned off. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the floor yet, because these things are those kind of puzzle piece mats, and I don't really want to have to draw that, but I don't know. I mean, it's not part of the main drawing either, so I could just try to find some puzzle piece mats, like a picture of it, and put that in as a background texture and warp it so it matched this this perspective as everything goes off to, it's like 2-point perspective, so I guess one off here and then another vanishing point. Well, that's a weird direction to be making a vanishing point from. Hey yo, woo woo, welcome in. The tablet did get here today. It got here in the middle of the stream. Okay, what part is this? Is that some blue? Oh no, because that's one of these. It's supposed to be blue. Right, it's a matte color. Alright. Watching the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Nice. That's a good one. They did a good job on those movies, I thought. And well, it's one movie, isn't it? I don't remember now. I read the book originally, or first, I guess. Okay, so we still need a floor, though. I got to figure that out so we can finish his feet and put little shadows underneath them. So for now, I'm going to alpha lock the hands here and grab my trusty airbrush, and we'll try making these hands look like a thing. Yeah, really good story. Okay, try and map this out lightly and see if I can make this look reasonable. I have been using this airbrush tool a lot lately, and this was the piece that really, like, getting these things looking right. That's what made me start using this tool more, because that really made all the difference. See, the thing about these fingers that was hard for me to sketch was that they are both square and round at the same time. They're like rounded squares. Or, I don't know, it's not a... What do you call this shape? It's not a cube. I don't know, it's a long rectangular box. You can see I even drew those in, and it didn't really click until I started actually drawing these in as boxes. Like a tall box with a rounded top. Like this one's a good one. You can see kind of like a squared off edge there, but the rounding comes over and the squared edge kind of starts right about there. You know, I'm interested in playing the third game. It was such a cool game. I like how they made it creepy without being gory. This may need an adjustment, I don't know. I think I like using these alpha layers better than using masks. Even though they do have their uses, masks. But it's easier because when you alpha lock, you're just locking in what's been painted, whereas a mask blocks off everything but the masked out area, and all the stuff underneath is still there. So when you turn the mask off, you just have all this slop out the edges, you know, like all this extra stuff. It's still there. So turning those off and on is just not a thing. So if you want to like go back and edit that stuff, I feel like isolating with the transparency lock is much better. Multiple books, but isn't it? I'm thinking that the original was like a trilogy, right? Isn't it like three books? Or am I just misremembering? I know that was the same time. Oh, whoops. That was in the same time that I had read. It was just after I had read J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, and I had an omnibus of it, and that's like 3 books or something, isn't it? Omnibus is thick. And I had just powered through that thing, and I was like, I need to read something else, because this thing just broke my brain. And so I went to Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. Well, no. Yeah, that's the thing. It got to me in the middle of the stream. And yesterday they were like, your tablet is out for delivery. No, it isn't. I know better. This is why I get delivery insurance now. It only costs an extra $2 or $3. And it's like no questions asked when they totally do not deliver it. Or they claim they did and they didn't, or they dropped it off at the wrong house or something. And the neighbors weren't nice enough to actually bring me the thing that I paid for. Okay, this is squared off too, right? Like right here. It has a thickness. Now the cool thing about masks though is you can build up layers. You can apply a mask to a folder, and then everything you put inside that folder, you can build up a bunch of layers. So I could make a mask on a folder just for these hands, and then have multiple layers inside there, and I can adjust them all, but I don't have to do anything with the mask itself. Like the mask is, I don't have to create a new mask for each layer. If we're doing it this way, I have to have a separate layer for each like alpha lock. So there's always more than one way of doing something. This is just the first way that I worked out. As I start learning to use more of these tools. Is pressure size off? Yes, good. How about we do it this way? It doesn't really have knuckles, so that makes it a little difficult. It's not a person, this is our arms in a game. It's a thing, like a pack you put on your back. Yeah, you wear it around the back or something, and then let's color this all the way up. And then I'll no, it comes from one side. Oh, well, here, first of all, it helps if I turn the pressure size. It's starting to look real. Let's do this. I'll pull down this sketch a little bit. How dark should that be? Whoops. Wrong layer, Braxton. There. So it's got these little grooves. Whoops. Okay, I'll edit this later and I'll cut in here. Right, this goes back this way. Yeah, I need to be more deliberate about that. Keeping that sort of squarish. Squarish shape. I'm gonna have to adjust this. I think this finger is a little too fat right here. All right, and brighter. The light is coming from directly above us. I don't want that to be streaky. Well, it does not look nearly as good as the original. Well, this is not turning out the way I would like it to. But it's okay. It's a learning experience. And making these too deep is probably the problem. Just tone these down a little bit. I could help some. You're on the second movie. Is that your first time watching it, or is it like a rewatch? Delivery insurance would have disturbed me. Well, yeah, I know. But I guess that's why they are so bad at it, so that they can sell more delivery insurance. Because they're bad at it. Like, you know. And you know they make it so it's nearly impossible to get what you want. So like, hey, if you pay us some extra money, we'll actually abide by the terms of sale. And get you what you actually paid for. How about that? Either that, or you can just not get anything when we decide not to deliver it. Your choice. It's your first? Okay. Did they do... That's the one where they did like a bunch of CGI and stuff for like Aslan. Here, this needs to be... Here. Something like that. I'm gonna try to do these quickly. I don't want to obsess on getting them perfect, because we'll be here all day. Well, I have done better hands. There, sort of. Sort of. Okay, there you go. Next. Yeah, speaking of dystopia, woo-woo. Funny you should mention that. Here, let's turn on the sketch. There. I know, it is coincidental. Now, you know, I'll come back and maybe get darker on these, and then we'll pop in some highlights. But, yeah, these are looking chunky. I definitely could have done better. These shapes are... It's really kind of tough. Because they're very, very subtle. Like a lot of complex curves in here, compound curves. Because they're both square and rounded, but also these parts kind of go outward. Instead of like this, they go sort of like this. Yeah, I think that's part of the shape that I'm missing. Something like that, and then tone these down even further. Because the only ones that are really cut in sharply are right around the base of the fingers. Up here, they're very, very subdued. So I should not have gone so full force on these. I should have gone partial force. We just need the hint of them there. They're still going to be wiggly. Yeah, that's a little better. Okay, I'm a little bit happier with that. But they're still kind of uneven and chunky, but it'll pass. Maybe we'll go darker on that. Do I have that? I think I have the DVD of that movie. Of course, I don't remember. It's been a while since I've actually watched it. But I may have actually bought the DVD of it. Oops. Ooh. Too much, too much. Okay, have a good one. As always, thank you for hanging out. These fingers just look so wonky. But they are wonky. Hand-drawn wonky. Brighter. Okay, not terrible. I'm okay. I'm not hating it. I think we're getting there. Yeah, see, that's showing the kind of shapes a little bit better. Let's grab this. I have been re-watching the Battlestar Galactica series. Which I love. I have them all on DVD. It's a huge thing. Huge DVD box. Biggest DVD box you've ever seen in your life. And they're just haphazardly stacked in there too. Well, not haphazardly, but they're all stacked up onto each other. But that's what I do. I'm sitting here drawing all day. I have like the TV going and just like turn on Tubi and just watch like non-stop Star Trek, TNG or Voyager or something. Just have that in the background. Just sit here and draw all day long. Are you to the part where they go to Earth and fly around on hover bikes? Wait. Well, they haven't gotten to Earth yet. Earth is at the end. Also, what's up, Core? Core Tube. It sounds weird to say core. I'd rather say car. I keep trying to train myself and I just can't say it. Spoilers. Right. No, not that one. That actually started in the late 70s too. Wasn't it 78 or something? And then the last season was like 80 or 81. I love those. Man, those were cool. Like, being a Gen Xer, you got to watch all these amazing live-action science fiction shows. They don't even do that now. Like Buck Rogers. Right? I mean, come on. There was really cool things. In fact, there was live action. It was early, like late 70s. They had, and probably early 80s. They had like live action superhero stuff too. They had like Shazam. They had Spider-Man. They had Captain America. Yeah, wasn't there a Captain America show for a short time there? They were on Earth and go on scout trips. Yes. Because that was the end of the series, right? So they had finally found Earth. That's right. Now I'm remembering. Yeah, I remember that now. Okay. Up. Because we're doing highlights. Up. I am excited to try out the tablet. I really wanted to do it on stream today, but it's probably better that I didn't. Now I have a toy to play with after stream. Mellow Captain America, yes. So cool, man. I loved all that stuff. I mean, you know, how could I not be a comic book fan? I was collecting like original Star Wars comics too. Back when Marvel had them. Of course, Marvel has them again because now it's like Marvel they lost the license, and then Dark Horse got the license for Star Wars, and then Disney bought Marvel and Star Wars and then put them back together again. But I have the original comics from that Star Wars series. Before all that. Yeah, I had to set up and make sure it works well. It would not have been a good idea to just start working on it during stream. That's true. I'm not doing a very good job on this part here. This is a little bit complicated. So I don't know how far I'm going to go with this. I might work on this off stream. Or I might not. I mean, honestly, these are still fine. I have zero problem with these at the moment. I'm putting in details that I don't need to put in. Honestly, they kind of sell themselves as it is. These are still off and wrong. Weird sausage fingers. Not to be confused with salad fingers. Which might be the weirdest British thing I've ever encountered. Which is saying a lot. Yeah, that's right. Because I've encountered some really weird British stuff. He likes how the rusty spoons feel against his skin. It's so, like, so trippy. This is why y'all grow up weird. I'm just saying. Watching stuff like that. David Firth is what? See, all this stuff, you're finding stuff to make you feel old now. Don't do that. I learned that lesson a decade ago. Because I am old. Stop reminding yourself. Besides, you're still a millennial. You got time. It's just, this is when the millennials start hitting their 40s and stuff and late 30s, and they're like, I feel like those Gen Xers I used to make fun of. That's what I'm saying. You're hitting that millennial zone where you're hitting your early midlife crisis. Millennials are coming out of that I'm young and invincible phase into the oh, I feel old now phase. And that's because Gen Alpha. Now y'all know how millennials made us feel, and the crazy Gen Zers who, well, we don't talk about them. I felt old since I was 30. Well, usually 30 is when it hits. 30 to 35 is when you sit down and you groan a little. Every time, like, every time you sit down, or every time you stand up, there's a little bit of a groan. That's when that sets in. And you maybe get a little bit of a gray hair here and there. Yeah, they start giving up. Okay, hands. I think they're okay. I'm gonna refine these edges, like, oof, sorry. The thing I like about these is when we take off the alpha lock, we don't have a bunch of slop underneath like what we would have if we did a mask. Instead, it's all just contained right there. Again, the difficulty is in not being able to make masks. I mean, not masks, not being able to do layers, which with an alpha lock, I mean, sorry, if you apply a mask to a folder, you can make layers inside the folder. So that's if you want to make something with a lot of layers and have the mask applied to all the layers below, you do it on a folder instead. Which I have been learning. Doing the comic book stuff. I just want to make sure we don't have really ratty edges here. Here, it's things like this. Yeah. There needs to be a little dimple right there. I really get a hankering for salad fingers every once in a while. That was a good show. Good wholesome fun. I love creepy stuff like that, though. Like, for me, I'm like all aboard. You know? I already bought my ticket to that train. Let's go. It does check out. Well, you know me pretty well by now, I would think. I mean, look at all the, like, the crazy stuff that Garrett posts. All the stuff that I'm like, man, I love that. That's genius. Everyone else is like, that looks weird. Well, genius, what are you talking about? Yeah, you've been here a minute. I like weird stuff. It's a lot more interesting. Everything else is boring. Or it bores me, I suppose. That might be the right word. Oof, what are you doing? I said, don't do that. Oh, right. Okay. There is a spot that I forgot down here. Oh, I did put it in the sketch. I just missed it. It's amazing how much we can read into the most subtle things. And how much those tiny little things that seem too subtle to even notice are the things that you subconsciously notice or unconsciously notice. So that if it's not there, it looks weird. Like uncanny, like yeah, something off. They call that uncanny valley effect. Don't do that, it's a eraser. Yeah, so I mean, of course, like Poppy Playtime is a game that I would gravitate toward, you know. It's thanks to our good friend, Super Cool Guy. That I discovered it. I am excited about the new tablet though. I'm hoping that the problem gets fixed. It's fine if I have to plug the thing in as well. The problem with this one is that it doesn't like being used while plugged in. And often I start my day at like 6 a.m. or something, 5 a.m. and plug in the tablet and just let it sit there all day long like that. Just all plugged in. The problem is that this one does not like being used while plugged in. It wants to work on Bluetooth, so something probably with Microsoft when it installed, maybe create a separate profile for it, or it itself does this. I don't know, but it's unnerving. Alright. Well, the new one doesn't even use a dongle. It's pairable rather than dedicated Bluetooth. You know, I remember someone leaving like a review on something. Every time I think about Bluetooth and dongles now, I remember this review. Someone was like angry that it didn't have real Bluetooth, it just had a dongle. I'm like, my dear, I don't think you quite understand what Bluetooth is. One is pairable if you have no dongle, right? You pair it with the device, and the other one is directly paired to the dongle itself. It's dedicated. But both are Bluetooth, because it's just radio frequencies. Right? That's all it is, just radio waves. So they gave something a bad review because it wasn't real Bluetooth, and they're like, what is it? False advertising. Yeah, they're making a claim of false advertising. They're really angry. It's not false advertising. It has Bluetooth. You know? So this one will pair up to different devices, and I only needed to pair up to this because I don't have a second license anyway to run this on the downstairs PC. You know, the one in the summer room. And I won't be able to run this on a laptop. So even if I did have a second license, it's not going to run well on a laptop. So, like in the afternoons during peak time, I have to find something to do with myself. And I don't want to just sit there and do nothing for 4 hours, so I will do sketching in with pencil and paper in one of my giant sketchbooks. That's actually where I've been laying out the comic book pages. Was just sketching them real rough in a sketchbook and then taking pictures of them with my phone and drag it in to here and just drop it in as a layer, and then that's just a sketch layer. Then I just ink on top of it or do the penciling, because these aren't even pencils. These are just, I wouldn't even call this proper penciling. All it is just planning out the actions with like stick figures or, you know, gesture drawings, block shapes for blocking in backgrounds and other elements. Yeah, like storyboarding. No actual pencil drawings have been done yet. Not really penciling, because I'm not going to use a pencil for it, but still. You know what I mean. Don't even start. Preemptive. Shh. Before you even start. These need to get changed. These don't look very good. So I'll figure out how to do that better. Am I okay with the hands like this? No. Because they need to be darker. I was just kind of mapping the shapes. Just keep working on this. It's not doing a good job on that finger. A little better. I feel like that's about all I'm capable of on this one at this time. Like, I don't think I can do better on these fingers. I should just leave them as is, because they're still okay. It's just my obsessiveness that's making me try to make them exact. There, little better, little better. Mr. Player, welcome in. I'm sorry we transitioned while you were on hiatus. Hopefully the Discord helped you get here. It is, as always, a pleasure, sir. What is this? Oh, just doing the highlight thing. I just take a mental break here. I'd like these to look more rounded. I hired 11 different private detectives and their fees have been staggering. Well, I'm sorry. I will reimburse you. Brighter, brighter. I keep trying to get this knuckle situation right, and it just does not work for me. Man, it's too much though. Yeah, it's a little bit better. I don't hate that. I'm not hating that. All right. Let's try this one. I'm very glad that you're here. I am sorry that we kind of did the shift while you were gone. There, I think I did a better job on those knuckles. I trained on this one, so this one comes out better. I had no idea that you had this secret other name 100. I thought you were 100 player everywhere. It's like a double life. No one would ever know. In fact, I hardly knew when you got here. I was like, who is this complete stranger? This, okay, we need a little more. Oh, here's a problem. There. It was too deep into these areas, so it made it look too bulgy in these spots. It needs to be straight but bulgy at the same time, which is such a weird thing, you know. Deep cover hunted. I'm even wearing a fake mustache. You know what? That's hilarious. That gives me a good idea. Or it gives me an idea. I don't know if it's a good one. I like the idea, like I'm the mental image of that. Someone online wearing like a disguise. But they're just typing on the computer and it's just like an alt account. But they don't want to be recognized even though you can't see them. Oh, here's a part that was bothering me. This part got mixed up. The head part here. Where's the head at? It's all in multiple layers. Here. Whew, way the hell down there. Look. Cheshire Cat. Right? Yeah? Like from the Disney one. We'd see his face floating in midair. Okay. This part needs to get changed. So let's unlock and then alpha lock. So this is the ear up here, but down here is actually part of the body segment. There's a leg here and a leg here for the purple segment. And there's a leg here. This is for the blue segment, but it's the same color as the ears. So in my sketch, I had gotten confused. This needs to be shaded out in a way that shows that this is still part of him, but the ear sticks out, and this is the body part. So this is what we're doing. Just so it recedes a bit more. It was, you know, I kind of felt that too. You know, I mean, it was very dark. Like that whole scene was meant to be scary. Because especially Dorothy's out in the woods and it's all black around her and she can't really, you know, it was very scary for little kids. I remember being kind of scared. There, see, I need there to be more separation here. So I think that's better. I think this works. Let's sharpen these a little bit. That's the thing with airbrush. It gets everywhere. Like sand. Coarse and rough and irritating. I think this is the only time I've used YouTube chat. I think the instruction manual printing out on I have it printing out on sprocket paper. You mean that old timey kind with the holes in the edges? Otherwise I don't know what sprocket paper is, if that's not it. You'd have to have the reams, like a ream of paper in a cardboard box, like underneath the printer stand, which just feed into it like a continuous line. I don't know what it is either. It's just how it was. That's all, really. It just had like the holes along those perforated edges. And you'd have to sit there and tear all those edges off too. Yeah, I think this does help. This, because now the ears come forward and this recedes down here. But I've noticed a thing. Some of these things are really quite off. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to unlock middles. It's getting unlocked. Don't try to fight it. There we go. It's much better to do it this way, I think, than using masks for things. I like them for making my comic pages and stuff, but wait, are you part of the middles? I bet you are. Yeah, so what am I going to do? I'll paint that over. We can't really erase in all these spots because it overlaps. There. It's just bugging me. But this is where I started. It was back here, and then got better at them as I got forward, closer to the camera. These are just sort of meant to be sketchy. I don't want to put a lot of effort into those, because this is the hero piece right here. Do you think that paper even had a special name? I don't think so. I feel it's probably just paper. Specifically printer paper. But printers were very different. Those things were scary too, like the carriage was very heavy. It would shuttle back and forth, and it would like shake the table that the printer, I mean, you had to have a special printer thing for it, and it was heavy as hell. Also, it got loud. I thought the thing was just gonna blow up. And my mother put it in my room, so I had to listen to that thing printing out. It was lovely. Let's see. Lock. We just lock everything. It'll annoy me later if I had to come back to it, but you know, whatevs. We'll alpha lock that nose and I'll deal with it later. It doesn't really have a whole lot of, like, these are, I think these are just fabric. They don't have a shine. You know, just like glued fabric stuck to the plastic base. I feel like that's what it is. Leave the hands, wrists. There we go. It was in my room. That's right. Well, she couldn't have it in her room. That would be silly. Looks almost like you can see inside of it. Like there's a little crack in the hand, and a piece fell away, and you can see inside there. It's still streaky. Why are you so streaky? Opacity. I also made some changes to my brushes. The opacity on this one is fine, but on others, like brush density, is really the thing I want to measure or change. I may deal with that on this one, but I haven't yet. But it changes. The brush opacity and the brush density are different things and have different effect. And I think the thing I've been wanting is to change the density instead. I've been doing that lately, and that's been giving me a better effect on my brushes. How does that look? Okay, about right. Okay. Let's grab this one. What, the wrist or the whole thing? Let's see, how are we gonna do this? Yeah, the thing is, it's got this little, like the hand partially comes back to it. The ear, oh yeah. Because it looks more like an ear separated from the body now, right? Otherwise, it looks like the ear over here is really long and this one isn't. So it's just an unfortunate match of colors right next to each other. Now it reads more like a pair of ears. There's this weird thing where the plastic of the hand extends out toward, like this. You can see that. So it extends outward toward the wrist. Whoops. But you can see it better here, actually. It comes out toward the wrist, but yet there's not much extension that's visible down here. So I'm thinking, since I did not draw that in, and I'm only seeing it now, I wonder if I can fake that out. Well, not doing it well. And that's what I wanted. Here. Something like that. Not very good, but at least it's kind of getting there. At least it's there, and it shows a little bit of the thing. It's sort of indicating what I'm talking about. I just need to execute that better. And unlock. There's the tiniest little thing. Yeah, just to show that that's coming out slightly, but not really having to redraw that. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like these hands have so much subtlety in them. This is the only, I mean, you get this from being able to make this in a 3D modeler. You know, you can do all kinds of subtle things because then the engine is doing all the lighting. Not that it's easy, but it's easier to get these clean shapes and to get the lighting to look right, because you're just placing lights in the scene and the engine figures out where the light's actually going to hit properly, instead of you having to like mentally work your way through where all the highlights and stuff are going to end up. There, more rounded. Whoops. Man, this, I gotta tell you, I gotta somehow make adjustments to this brush, because when I use this, I use this airbrush, it gets streaky with the pressure opacity off, and the airbrush in PaintStorm tends to do a better job of not being streaky. Like I can keep it on the pressure size. You know, have pressure size turned on the whole time and not have it be streaky. I could just use my blender. Yeah, I need to do that more often. It's nice to be able to blend out the colors by hand, but it takes longer. Okay. Yeah, I think that, yeah, that kind of sort of looks like it's kind of hooked in. At least I'm a little bit more happier. Alright, so this is gonna be like, I don't know, like a grubby. Are they full black? These lines? So this one I've been changing the opacity and density. So now the opacity is locked and I'm changing the brush density instead, because it builds up faster. If I turn the pressure opacity on and bring down the opacity with this like I normally do, it reacts differently. It doesn't continually build up. Pressure opacity. See? If I just keep my hand down, that's it. And I can press a little bit harder, but that's it. It doesn't continue to build up, because I'm setting the opacity differently. Now this is at 100, but then I have to lift up and set it back down, and it gets dark. So it's cool for being able to lay down an even layer of something really quickly. But if you have to pick your brush up and set it back down again to actually achieve a darker color, then it's not as good as if I'm here, back up through that, as if I'm have the opacity locked and then I've just got the brush density down. That way I can do light strokes where I want to, which is what I want, but also I can just go back and forth and just bring that up quickly. It works more like a pencil or something like that. So understanding that was like my newest breakthrough. Like my newest learning breakthrough about how to deal with this. And it's a control, I think, on Photoshop called flow, because I think it's talking about like airbrush stuff when it mentions flow. I think that's probably why they call it that, because Photoshop, of course, was meant for photo retouching, not for what we, you know, for art and stuff. So airbrushes were involved often. Because it does remind me of setting the flow control on a real airbrush. Although I don't have a real airbrush. We'll just use our little tricks here. No, don't do that. Use our little on-screen preview to make our life easier. These are also going to be like not parallel. Because they're going to be going off toward a vanishing point. There we go. It's not bright enough though. I need this to be brighter. You don't, yeah, you know what? That's true. You don't need a respirator. Which is a plus. We're going to experiment with this a little bit. Putting the highlights in here with this brush preview, which I think is pretty awesome. Certainly makes my life easier. Light table, what is that? There. I need to have this thing right here. There, make it a little more hand painty. Now it goes this way. There. Yeah. Love this tool. Like they got this right. This is what I'd like to do with vectors, is just lay them down and then immediately fix them. But with vectors, this is what annoys me about vectors, is that I have to go into another mode to do it. So I actually have a temporary shortcut that brings up the move and add a pixel tool. That way it does two things. It'll move the pixels and it will add pixels when I need to, or not pixels, vectors. It'll add a vector. So it's like the move plus, I guess, if you want to call it that. That way it does two things at once. Since it's temporary, it doesn't even put me into editing mode for longer than I can hold down that key. But it does provide me a really quick way of where's this at? It provides me a really quick way of hold on, this is not right. I'm losing my thread. It's fine, I lose my train of thought all the time. Lighter. There we go. Anyway, yeah, that's right. It allows me to lay down the lines and then fix them right away, which is my preference. You know, I think that one's fine. Turn that off so I can see what I'm doing. There. Toggling the pressure opacity still is helpful. No, we're good with that. Surprisingly, I'm also good with that. It needs well, what it needs is for me to fix this. Deplorable. Just deplorable. There. Better. And we'll do what we did on the other side. And trusty airbrush. So I have discovered that the airbrush tool is really very cool. You just have to use it like you would in real life. And if you don't know how to use an airbrush in real life, it's going to be harder to use this tool. Because they work the same way. Basically, no matter what you do, you're always going to get a fuzzy line. You can, if you have, especially if you have a really good model, you can squeeze down the valve on it to get really skinny little lines. Right? Really skinny lines. But it's still fuzzy. It's always going to be fuzzy. It's always going to have that center because it's spraying. And that's just how it is. Right? But the thing you need to deal with is how to keep it from getting into the places you don't want it to get to. Because if you just try to freehand the edges of stuff, it doesn't work well. In real life, an airbrush artist takes a template, like a piece of cardboard, or cut a curve in it, or maybe they have template rulers or something for it, and they hold up the template here, like this would be a straight edge. So I just take like a piece of cardboard and with my left hand line it up, and then my right hand just spray very lightly on that edge, and then move it here, and then have a curved template, cut a curve out of a piece of cardboard and hold it up and spray. That's as close as you get to freehanding with airbrush, unless you're doing the tiny lines, and then those are fine for creating like soft creases and soft lines and things, but if you want a hard edge on something, you're gonna have to block it off with something. So that means like using this is why I'm using the pressure opacity, the alpha lock, because, and it's why I use all these extra layers, because each section is locked to its own layer. So like here, I've locked the wrists, and that's acting as my resist for my airbrush. So I can get right on the edge. And I don't have to worry about getting right there and then having it fade out a little bit because it still didn't. There. Because it still didn't get all the way to the edge, because they just won't. There. Although this isn't nearly as good. Oh, right, because I missed some stuff here. I had to redo some of these. You know, the cool thing is that it's like, I don't even know if it is vectors. It seems like it's opening up its own little vector layer. Like a mini vector layer or something on top. Like, I'm certain this is using the vector engine. And then it must rasterize it when I let go of it. It must. I just make it darker. Yeah. In fact, we could redo this one. There. That tool is in the latest version. This little preview thing is neat. As a total game changer. Okay. I'm good on all this. I just have to figure out how to do the floor. I don't want to have to draw those things. Like, I'd love to find like a mat like this, like a picture of one, and then bring it in as a convert it to a texture or something. Otherwise, I don't want to have like I really don't want to have to draw the puzzle shapes where they link into each other on the floor. But it needs a floor, and it needs this floor. I don't know. It's close enough for me for right now. Okay, so I guess that's gonna be it for today. We're gonna be back tomorrow, and what do I have going on over here? We have two of them. We have Mommy Longlegs, which I said the opposite of what I was clicking. That's Bunzo Bunny. And this is Mommy Longlegs. This is our sketch for now. I know this looks weird, right? Here. This one, which I've done the sketch for, and I've done the sketch for these already, all ahead of time. And here's Bunzo Bunny. Very creepy. I really am kind of saving this one for last because of how freaky it is. So I think we're gonna do Mommy Longlegs and save Bunzo Bunny for last. It's gonna take me a bit to figure out these concentric circles and warp them. But anyway, they're gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I promise. It's gonna be a good time. This is what that used to look like. We could just leave you with the jank version. No, we can't have that. We'll leave it like this. Okay. Circles are difficult. That's why these tools are so good. It's so nice to be able to just freehand a circle and then fix it right there and keep moving. Save. And we're out. I will be back tomorrow, and I'll figure out the floor, and we'll start on one of the other pieces. Mommy Longlegs.